Well, good morning and welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I am Steve Smith. Hope you all are well today. I'm going to read you something here in a minute that is going to be a blessing for those of you who have a soul, which I hope is most of you. It's an exceptional piece of writing that I think is just going to it's amazing. It's something that we should all think about. It's something that we should all keep in mind as we tend to get wound up in this crazy world. It explains, it calls our attention back to the truly important things. And there are some phrases in this, what I'm about to write to read you, that just stand out. It's not titled, I'm going to title it, Gardens Are Life. And it was written by one of our patrons over on the Patreon channel, Tom Usher. And it was included, he wrote it in the community section. I think now it's called member posts or patrons posts or something like that. When he wrote this was clear back in July 23rd. And I've been meaning to read this since then, but I've been a little bit busy. So it took me a while to find it again. I asked him if I could publish this or share it, and he said, yeah, sure, do whatever you want with it. And I was very happy about that. I'll tell you what, it's something that I'm putting together a new office. I'm in the process. I don't know when it'll be done. I'm not in a hurry, but when I do, I'm going to print this out and I'm going to frame it. It's that good. So I'll read this, and I think you all will be very, very blessed hearing it. He starts, it's a bit weird sometimes. I think about my life and the times I grew up in. My wife and I are both in our mid-60s now. Both of us knew people that were born in the 1880s. And of course they knew people that were born in the first half of the 19th century. And here we are, a good long way into the 21st century. I know this isn't an original thought or feeling, but it often seems as though we're time travelers. I've heard from my great-uncle his account of being a teamster serving in France during World War I, driving mules through the smoke of battle on a continent far from home. I was told by my grandma that I should never give up the mineral rights on my property I buy, because she grew up in Stanton, Missouri, a place where fortunes were made and lessons were learned. Lessons that built not just fortunes, but empires. Just down the road from the family farm, and not far from where I live today, George Hurst and his wife Phoebe learned to mine riches from the earth. From that humble beginning of a dynasty was founded, and my grandma learned and passed on to us a simple lesson. Hold on to those mineral rights because they might just be the ticket to an empire. I learned from my great aunts, my grandma's sisters, the granddaughters of Italian immigrants that came over in the 1840s to Missouri, sponsored by an Italian aid society in Chicago, that we need to live well within our means and always, always store food in the basement and laugh. I learned from the Irish side of the family that you work hard, never expect to have much, and always know that everything always works out for the best. Enjoy life and always keep the faith. The German side of my family worked in the St. Louis breweries. They built houses that still stand in South St. Louis, 130 years or so later. I live in the past so that I can live in the future. My wife and I feel the weight of the time we've lived in. We feel the lessons we've learned so faintly, so poorly. We feel the urgency, the need to restore the knowledge lost to not only time but arrogance, the modern idea that all those old-fashioned skills will never be needed again. We worked in the garden this evening, as we do every evening, marveling at the successes and learning from the failures. Keeping a garden will keep a man humble. When we came down to the house, after we'd taken care of the chickens and put the cats up and all the other small pieces of farm life had been tended to, we finally retired to the peace and security of not just the house, but a lifetime of marriage and shared experience. We've learned that the small pleasures are the best. The more we are pulled into this modern age of war without reason, sex without purpose, speech without meaning, and life without joy, or at least the perception that joy and life can only be found in material possessions, the more we retreat to the garden. The human race started in a garden, and everything worth knowing can be known in a garden. Gardens are life. We are gardeners. Thanks be to God. I think that's just exceptional. I'm not going to add much to it because I couldn't. I'm sharing this on YouTube too. I was originally just going to put it on the Patreon channel because most of the stuff that we do on Patreon I keep there. But this was just too good to limit it, and I wanted as many people to be able to hear this as possible. So thank you, Tom. That's been a blessing to me to read it. I think it's going to be a blessing to a lot of other people out there who hear this. And like I say, when I get my new office together, I'm printing this out, and I'm going to title it Gardens Are Life. You all have a good day. Remember the things that Tom said in there, and it'll make your life better. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.